Hi there, I'm Karen Perry, Associate Professor and Head of Small Animal Surgery at Michigan State University. Thank you to Aurora for letting me share some of the key people, challenges, and experiences that inspire me to push the boundaries of veterinary orthopedics for Women's History Month. I started on my career path when I was still very young. I was always surrounded by animals growing up and driving my mum crazy bringing home strays. So it was no surprise when at age 10 I announced I was going to become a veterinarian. Nurtured and matured by my education, my childhood love for animals developed into a fierce determination to improve patient outcomes. And that became the driving force that kept me motivated not just through college and residency, but that still drives me today. It's this aim that underpins my current work in feline orthopedics, minimally invasive osteosynthesis, and reducing complication rates associated with common orthopedic procedures. The road getting here certainly hasn't been without its challenges. I remember clearly often being the only woman in the room at orthopedic conferences. But luckily I had a fantastic role model who helped me see this as a challenge and not a barrier. During my childhood, my mother put herself through night school to become qualified as an engineer, and I had watched her negotiate the challenges of working in that male-dominated industry throughout my formative years. Having seen her rise to the challenge, I knew I could do the same. The 12th century theologian John of Salisbury famously said in his work Metallogicon, "We are like dwarves sitting on the shoulders of giants. We see more and things that are more distant than they did, not because our sight is superior or because we are taller than they, but because they raise us up and by their great stature add to ours." While my mother was my earliest inspiration, as well as being my greatest supporter, in honor of Women's History Month, here are just a few of the other women who have opened doors, not only for me, but for many other women along the way. Dr. Gretchen Flo, who I've had the pleasure of working with over the last few years, was an inspiration long before I met her in person. When I first picked up the Handbook of Small Animal Orthopedics and Fracture Repair and realized that one of the authors of this landmark text was a woman, success in this field seemed infinitely more achievable. Dr. Danielle Gunn-Moore at the University of Edinburgh was a constant supply of inspiration, and with her expertise in feline medicine, cultivated my own interest in feline orthopedics. Dr. Vicky Lipscomb and Dr. Zoe Harfagre, who I was lucky enough to work with at the Royal Veterinary College, were shining examples of dedication, hard work, time management, and perhaps most importantly of all, empathy and kindness. And then I have my resident mates, Dr. Anna Marquez and Dr. Samantha Woods, who throughout residency and ever since have always been there to offer support whenever imposter syndrome rears its ugly head. I was what you might call a fairly competitive child. In the mornings, I would bounce out of bed as soon as the alarm went off, not because I was a morning person or super keen to start the day, but because if I beat my older brother out of bed, which really wasn't that hard, then I could start the day with a win. Luckily for everyone, as I grew up, I realized that the most worthwhile competition is the one you engage in with yourself. Today, I run my own race and I have no desire to play the game of being better than anyone. I just aim to improve and to be constantly better than I was before. I'm motivated by that same iterative improvement in patient outcomes, and I am always excited by the way that we can work together to achieve this. Engineers, surgeons, clinicians, researchers, nurses, students, and pet owners, as a team we work together with one common aim: to achieve the best possible result for our patients. However, success isn't just about what you accomplish in your life, it's about what you inspire others to do as well. My work with students, interns, and residents is incredibly rewarding, and I'm inspired every day by the potential that I see all around me. A major motivator for me is to be that spark or that support that makes the next woman realize that this door is open to her too. Only by inspiring and supporting others can we secure the future of orthopedics and ensure that the positive progress made by those who came before is continued and accelerated for the benefit of patients, owners, and veterinarians alike.